thing. I feel like when it comes to things like jealousy, envy, different things like that, I feel like it's remembered that, like, there's different spiritual
jealousy. Some people might struggle with jealousy a lot, and then some people might with something else, right? Stand on this topic, and of course there's other things that does. So for this topic personally, I felt like it was kind of tricky, right? Because like I said, sometimes you struggle with things, sometimes you don't. And so I really like in particular, and I feel like one of the things about jealousy is that it's a tricky topic because it's not necessarily always ill intent. It's what you do with your jealousy that kind of determines things, right? A lot of times people talk about jealousy and it's like this sinking feeling in them, right? Like someone gets what you've been begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for, right? You're supposed to be happy for that person. And maybe you are, but something inside you just feels tight. It feels like someone else is getting what you wanted, whether that's traveling, buying a house, reaching different milestones, getting married, whatever it might be. It could even be, a career you wanted, whatever it might look like for you. There are different things that might trigger that, right? And of course, like you might feel happy for that person, but also at the same time have that feeling within you, right? So jealousy is one of those feelings that it's kind of tricky to talk about and explain because it feels wrong. But the truth is we all feel it at some degree or another. It's all about what you do with it, right? So the first thing I kind of want to talk about is just this underlining idea of jealousy. And in the sense that it's really what you do with it that matters. Because how many times have you seen people who have been jealous of someone else and not only destroyed that other person's life, but also their own? And it's one of those things that makes no sense because a lot of times people that are jealous tend to struggle the most, right? They struggle more than the people that they are jealous of. And they think that they're causing harm and infliction. And we see that even, in generations past where people have harmed one another out of jealousy, or people have hurt one another out of jealousy. There's families where genuinely there's so much jealousy among siblings, among different things that you think like, hoping out of a good intent, like family would be the place where you learn the most loyalty. But that's not the case for everyone, right? Some people come from very jealous households. And like I said, I feel like it's a very big sickness of the heart because you constantly look at someone else or you constantly look at the blessings in someone else's life and fixate yourself on them. And it takes away so much from the ni'mas and the blessings that Allah gave you. And that's why I feel like it's important to mention that whole thing which I mentioned earlier, which is why it's what you do with it. Some people can't tolerate it. They don't understand jealousy to a point that it just literally, they black out and they start to harm the other person in whatever means that might be so that person doesn't succeed. And in the end, that obviously doesn't benefit you, right? Because you've just wasted years and years of your life trying to harm someone else. It's insane. I've heard people do insane things out of jealousy, and it's very odd to me because I'm like, why are you giving up and sacrificing your own life because you're upset that someone else accomplished something? It's very weird, but sometimes we don't understand how much these different emotions and these different things can take a toll on us. So I feel like that's why I kind of mentioned that. I feel like it's important to bring that up. The other thing that I think is kind of important to talk about is like where jealousy really comes from, right? A lot of times jealousy isn't just bitterness, it's a mirror and it's a sign. And it's a spotlight on our unmet desires. And when you feel jealous, it's almost never about them. It's always about you. You wish you had what they had. What you feel is that you're lacking in that department and whatever they might have. It's a fear. And that fear that maybe Allah has forgot you, that maybe that you're behind, or that maybe that you're not enough. A lot of times, jealousy is just a fear. Why did this person get what I wanted when deep down, maybe you've been waiting for years to get that thing? So really, it's not necessarily about them. People might portray it like that. They might act out like that. But deep down, you know there's probably not really about them. It's about you. And it's about a fear, something within you that you feel like you are lacking or you did not get. Jealousy is one of those things that makes you feel like their blessings means there's less for me. Allah's giving more to them, so there's less for me. That this person got what I wanted, so there's nothing for me. But the truth lies in the fact that Allah's rizq is unlimited, and He can give to whomever He wills, right? That is something that you need to take into account whenever you start to feel jealous. A lot of jealousy comes from like this narrow, shallow mindset. Very like scarce mindset. If this is not for you, something else will be. If this is not written for you, Allah has something better. You see people get very jealous and upset that, over marriage, over someone that they felt like they should have been with, or a career path that they felt like should have been theirs, a job that should have been theirs. Allah will give you something better. And so often when you tell people this, people say, no, what I had initially wanted was better. That is all I want. I do not want anything else. But when you really zoom out and you think about it and you ask them, how do you know that's better? A lot of times it's based on emotion. I liked the way that thing made me feel. I liked the idea of it. I liked what I had made in my mind on how I thought that thing would be. But is it really that? A lot of times we do not know the reality of things, and we have made things good and bad in our perception, in our mind, from our understanding and our limited knowledge on what Allah allowed us to know. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the grander picture, and when He acts in accordance to your favor, and you go out of your way and look at the next person at what they have and feel jealous that why did they have this and I didn't get this, you're doing a disservice to the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have saved you from something bigger that wasn't fit for your life. That doesn't mean what you lost is bad. Right? A lot of times we instantly think that, the person we didn't end up with, the career we didn't end up going to, the school we didn't end up going to, it's terrible, it's bad, right? Maybe there is something in there that's not good for you, right? Maybe there is something in there that's bad. But at the same time, maybe there's something out there that's better for you. Maybe that is good, but there is better for you. Maybe there is something in there that's bad. We don't 100% know. But the reality comes down to the fact that too many times, especially with people like to villainize someone that has left their life, where things have not worked out, or where things have, fall short, and maybe someone has moved on, or someone has gotten a new job, started a new chapter, whatever. People like to villainize that. People like to villainize their old friends for whatever reason, right? People that you were very, very good, close friends with, had a good time with. Like I always say, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I always say, like, people that I was friends with, that I'm not friends with, I feel so deeply for them. Until this day, I say I love them. I care for them so much, and I'll always be there for them, right? Because that was someone Allah sent for you in that season of your life. And there's nothing wrong with people outgrowing you and you outgrowing people. That doesn't make you the villain. That doesn't make them the villain. But too many times when we need closure, we need some type of, I guess you could say, some type of like relaxation in our heart, some type of peace in our heart as to why something we liked went away from us, or as to why something we liked didn't work out. We like to view it in a worser lens than it actually is. And that might help you heal if that's what you do. But in reality, I feel like that's not true healing. I feel like true healing comes with the terms of understanding that, like, okay, this person might not have been the worst person in the world as I had probably villainized them out to be. They're human just like I was, and maybe we just weren't good for another. Or that this person who took the opportunity that I had in my mind that was for me didn't quote quote steal it. Allah gave it to them because maybe that was more fit for their life. That doesn't mean that they're a bad person who got a bad thing. Don't villainize situations that didn't go your way just because it's convenient to go forth in your life like that. Learn to truly heal with a happy heart and a happy mind, and wish well for people. Closure that requires you to think negatively, to be toxic to others, to villainize others isn't really closure. I feel like it's over your own feelings to help you get up and move along the day. But there comes a time where your bandage will fall short, where your bandage will come off, and you will realize that maybe me villainizing every single person in my past, or me trying people in my life right now, saying that they took something from me or they did this to me, probably isn't the most beneficial way to heal. The other thing I'm going to say on this topic, inshallah, is that if you believe in Allah and if you believe in His justice and His generosity, then know that no one can take what. You guys heard that quote, that, like, what's written for you will always be yours, whatever it might be. And that is so true. And I feel like a lot of us like to, People on Instagram, they're like sharing that, tweeting that quote, liking reels of that quote, but then that was written will reach us.